Let's bring in CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, Scott Bauer, to talk more about this. And Scott, you tend to think that that little surge in volatility that we saw earlier in the day, that it's probably going to go away. You're seeing lower lows and higher lows in the VIX.
No doubt, Abigail. I mean, you take a look at that pattern over the last probably 6 months or so, not just in the VIX, but in the volatility of the VIX as well. And there is that pattern of lower lows and lower highs. We were up earlier in the day today. We were up in the VIX. It's actually off just a little bit right now in the spot VIX. But if you look at VIX futures going out, December futures, January, February, et cetera, those are actually down on the day, and they have been pretty much the entire day. So what that tells me is, yes, we certainly, as you mentioned, saw volatility today, right? We saw the S&P up huge, almost unchanged. Now it's up again. We saw the NASDAQ up huge, down. Now it's at flatline. So intraday here, we are seeing that volatility. But reflective in some of these indices here, there's a lot of complacency, quite frankly.
Yes, to Taylor's point, there is certainly that feeling of complacency despite the little bit of intraday volatility. And let's bring Fed Chair Jay Powell into the conversation because, of course, markets love consistency, stability, consistency, and that's absolutely what he represents. Take it forward in terms of what it is that markets are seeing with Fed Chair Jay Powell, and also tie in rates because we're seeing a pretty big backup in yields.
As you mentioned, Abigail, the market loves consistency. Market does not like volatility. So, once that announcement was made, and, obviously if he gets confirmed, we're going to see that consistency. So the equity markets like that. You turn to the bond markets here, and he is known as overall probably more on the dovish side, not as dovish as Lael Brainerd would have been, but also he's someone that is ready to act. So if inflation does continue, if inflation really, really gets out of hand, we know that he's going to raise rates. So I still think the overall trajectory in the bond market is for higher rates going into 2022. And that's why I really like here the TLT. And TLT runs opposite to the bond market, basically. So what I'm looking at is a consolidation. I want to sell some expensive premium because volatility did get expensive. One way to do that is by selling an iron condor. That's an option strategy where you sell a put spread and a call spread at the same time, same expiration. And you look for that consolidation. You look for whatever market it is to trade in a range. I'm doing that with TLT. The December 10th expiration, I'm selling the 145, 143 put spread. I'm also selling the 148, 150 call spread. I can collect $1.20 on that. The most this can ever go to is $2. I have very little risk on this. It is a slightly bearish trade for TLT here, which I like because I think rates are going to continue a little bit gradually to the upside, but my risk is totally capped out. I can collect a ton of premium on this.
Well, Scott Bauer, if you are correct on volatility, we, of course, are looking forward to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S., but maybe you're auguring a Santa Claus rally at the end of the year if there's not going to be too much volatility ahead. Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, thanks so much for joining us today on Options Insight. And Taylor, back to you.